Welcome and good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. How are you guys doing? No intro? Y'all ready for an intro? Y'all ready for an intro? Let's go, man. Let's get an intro. I gotta go get my lighter. Y'all want an intro? Let's go.
Yeah. If they don't like it, they can stay mad as
Let's
hell.
go, y'all.
We don't
Get mad as
apologize.
hell.
Make them mad, make them lose their mind. Say it too real, watch them fall behind. Let them talk shit while we rise instead. Fuck their opinions, make them mad, make them mad, make them see red. Every damn word goes straight through their head. No fake smiles, no peace to air. We just show up and make them mad. I built this lane out of broken glass. Why they fake laugh? I just outlast. Back row grip with a digital bite. Turn every comment into a fight. They want me quiet, they want me tame, but I'm too damn loud for their little game. I don't fit boxes, I break the frame, and I carve my truth right into the name. Let them screenshot, let them complain. I turn their hate into propane. One spark hits and the whole thing blows. That's just how this damn channel goes. Make them mad, make them lose their mind. Say it too real, watch them fall behind. Let them talk shit while we rise instead. Fuck their opinions, make them mad, make them mad, make them see red. Every damn word goes straight through their head. No fake smiles, no peace to add. We just show up and make them mad. Talk real tough from a glassy screen, but fold like cheap chairs when it gets mean. I don't chase trends, I chase impact, and I leave a mark that don't fade back. This ain't for clout, this ain't for fame, it's for the ones who remember the name. Aggressive defiance, carved in steel. Say what I want, don't answer, they feel. They got a problem, they can line up next. I don't do threats, I just redirect. Turn their noise into content fuel and watch them lose their cool, looking like fools. Yeah, they wanted silence. They got volume instead. They wanted calm. We brought chaos. Make them mad,
Make 'em mad,
make them lose
make
their
'em lose
mind.
their
Say it
mind.
too real, watch them fall behind. Let them talk
Let
shit
'em
while
talk
we
shit
rise
while they
instead.
rise in.
Fuck their opinions, make them mad, make them mad, make them mad, make them see red. Every damn word goes straight through their head. No fake
No
smiles,
fake smiles, no peace to add. We just show up
and make them mad.
Woo! How the heck are y'all doing, man? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? How the heck are y'all doing, man? Good to see you all. Good to see you all. What's up, everybody? What's up, Watts? What's up, everybody? How you doing, man? Good to see you all, man. What's up? Shout out to my girl Rebecca, my homie Rebecca, the producer. Y'all the producers of our shows, man. Y'all be the producers of our shows. When y'all email me stuff and when y'all send stuff over in the Discord, it's like being a producer of the show, man. Make them mad, make them see red. What's up, Amy? What's up, Sam? What's up, Regina? What's up, Leesky? Arista? Diet Pepsi for me. What's up, Diet Pepsi for me? Amy, what's up? Arista, you do, Jackal. What's up, everybody? So, one of the Cuomos had an interview with Elizabeth Siders and his attorney, and he didn't really take it too easy on him, y'all. You know what's funny? I was reading a comment earlier, and I'm just going to show you the stupid shit like Toddy and her people and all them motherfuckers do. This is the stupid shit they do, right? I'm going to show you. Make them mad, make them lose their mind. It says right here, let's see here. This person says, her name is Toddy One Skip. You know how I say, that she always talks about church, right? And in church, I say, well, that ain't right because no homosexuals will inherit the kingdom of heaven. What's up, Kimmy? And she wrote a stupid ass fucking comment. So I guess I gotta let's just see what it says. I called bullshit. Let's read it. Let's read it together, y'all. She says, I called bullshit. The word homosexual isn't in the Bible. He's a dumbass and people believe him. Probably can't even spell Bible. Hmm. 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 Well, let's just see here. Yep. Let's see. All I have to do here is do this. Type a Bible verse in. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and just type the verse in. And let's just see what it says, guys. Let's see what it says. Let's just see what this says. Okay. All right. We go to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians, right? 1 Corinthians, New International Version. Or do you not know that wrongdoers will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived, neither sexually immoral. What do you think that means, homosexual? Nor adulterers, nor men who have sex with men. Did y'all read that? Hold on. You didn't get it. Hold on. Let's do it. Let's read it one more time for you. Go over and tell Toddy she's wrong once again. Wrong once again. Or do you not know that wrongdoers will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived. Neither the sexually immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor men who have sex with men. What does that mean, Toddy? What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, it's just not women who have sex with women, right? That's that right. It didn't say you can't be lesbians, right? Stupid. God, you guys are idiots. Fucking retards, bro. Fucking retards, bro. He's not a man that doesn't have sex with men. What's up? We got a 100 in the building, y'all. We got a 100. We got some gin. We got some stuff. Thank you. Let's get into this, y'all. Let's get into this. Let's get into the content, guys. Let's get into the content. They said Patrick is over there crying on Facebook. Y'all are funny, man. Tomorrow we'll probably have a stream where we just talk about anything. Thank you, Kimmy. You have to stop doing that and ask for forgiveness. She probably ain't having much to say. What's up, Betty Davis? You made it. Toddy is thrown like a frisbee. KD is better content. I agree. We'll be talking about KD later. KD is now she got Stephanie back over there again. Oh Lord. Thank you, Manda. Appreciate you, love. Baby Karma is somewhere chilling. So I want to say thank you to Rebecca for sending this over here to me. I appreciate you, Rebecca. Much love to you. Let's get to the content, y'all.
really just as it pertains to the elder of the family there. Really, but
What's up,
there's
Southern
still
girl?
stuff to mind. It does show,
Hello.
though, that the system is getting
Hello.
nervous about what's
I'm
out
so
there about
tired.
this case and that it's so prejudicial. Well, the question is, should it be? I think a good way to look at the House of Horrors and what this means about the family involved.
Oh, thank you, Kimmy. I appreciate it. Make them see red. Make them red. Make them see red. Thank you so much, Kimmy. I appreciate you making them mad.
Right now, 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 right now.
All love, man, to get you some rest. Larson is free. Oh boy, we're gonna have to look into that too. Oh boy, we got a lot of stuff to look at. Tomorrow we're gonna have a kind of, I don't know. Tomorrow it starts my 3-day weekend. So I'll say tomorrow night we'll probably just talk about whatever the fuck we want. How about that? You know what I mean? Just platonically, y'all. I don't understand the 17 counts either.
Of the siders and
Very
who
good,
is
very good
the
choice.
bad guy, or are there bad guys, or there bad guys and women? Are there victims among the adults involved, or an adult involved? Is that the mother who gave birth to all of these kids? Is there any theory of that? Have we ever heard of that before? Can it be that someone could treat kids this way as a mother and yet still be a victim? That is a very controversial.
That is the question I have. That's the biggest question I've had. Is can she be a victim while allowing these kids to live like that? Like, are you able to be? What did he said it perfectly.
Of that. Have we ever heard of that before? Can it be that someone could treat kids this way as a mother and yet still be a victim?
Yeah. You can be a victim and an abuser. Ooh, look at Betty Davis' eyes. Much love to Betty Davis' eyes. Make them mad every chance we get. We love this group of peeps. We love you too.
Right now, 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 right now. Baby, yeah.
I think that's what they're doing right now is they're investigating, is trying to sort this all out, man. Yeah, and I don't know why he's talking if there's a gag order. I don't know what the gag order is for. I think the attorneys can talk. I think it's for, like, I don't know.
That is a very controversial thought. So how do we look at it? A good way to look at it is through the lens of what we have seen before. What have we seen like this? Ordinarily, I'd say nothing. I've never seen anything like this before.
Block
But
the ass.
yes, I have. Yes, I have. There are several cases of abductions over time, systematic abuse, perverse, depraved abuse, prolonged years, but not this many people.
Yeah.
And not by people who are trying to have it where this isn't trafficking. This isn't a set up system of to destroy these children, that even if misplaced, there's a belief that they were doing something else. And that is the Turpin family case. Do you remember that?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Remember this guy? Remember this guy? Remember this guy?
David and Louise Turpin arrested on January 4th, 2018, after one of their daughters, a 17-year-old, escaped out of a window from their home in California, a remote part of California, Paris, California, and called 911. Her call led police to discover that she and her alleged 12 siblings, her 12 siblings, had allegedly suffered years and years of severe abuse and neglect. And of course, they did. The Turpins had 13 kids, aged 2 to 29.
Yeah, this guy here, man. This guy here, dude. How many years they get? They got like 30, didn't they? Here's my question to you. Yeah, they had all their kids chained up to beds and fucking all kinds of shit. Here's my question to you, and I know there's mostly women in this chat. And I love that, by the way. Shout out to all the women. But I'm asking everybody in this chat, if you were a child of this, if you were brung up in a situation like this, okay? And let's say mom and dad were caught. They do 20 years for it. They get a lump sum of time, right? They do 20 years. They get out of prison finally. Do you try to have a relationship with them? Do you try to have a relationship? That would be a huge no. Absolutely not. Hell no. What's up, Lily? So if your parent, so that's a big question, man. That's a big question, but everybody seems to say no. No way. I'm a bitch. I already cut my own mother off for neglect. I guess I'm just happy that my mom never did anything but try to take care of me the best way she knew how. I never suffered through any molestation, any kind of like bullying to me. I never did have to see any of that. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
Investigators found that many of the kids were extremely malnourished, isolated, living in unsanitary conditions. Some had been restrained to beds for long periods.
Good point, Kimmy.
Bathing was an irregularity. Neighbors saw the kids, though.
One thing you can notice about all of these kids, they're skinny. Not one of them overweight. You notice that? All those kids, and they're all the same build. You'd ask why? See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Because over a 20-year period, you'd think people would change. I don't know, man. To do that to a child, it's pretty fucking damaging. All of them are thin as shit. I bet he doesn't have that haircut no more. I bet he don't either. He's probably bald by now. Probably
Neighbors
bald.
knew they had kids, knew the kids were there, and the kids were weird, but that they didn't know how bad it was. Same thing you hear with the House of Horrors in Ohio, except their neighbors.
See, the Turpin family took their kids out. See what I mean? They took them to Disney World. They were using like government assistance and shit from people. And they were like using them up. Damn, Regina. Good point, Betty Davis. See, I love getting y'all's fucking points. Ooh, I got a silver star. I got a silver star. I'm a shooting star.
Barely knew they had any kids. Never saw the kids. And
It was creepy.
there, the situation wound up being a really weird control dynamic. That's what it was for the Turpins.
Yeah.
And that's why they did it. It was very unsatisfying to me. And never really made sense, never really bought it, but that's how it was adjudicated. So what lens does that
See, like they wouldn't feed them. The Turpins were known for that right there. They wouldn't feed their kids. And then they would chain them up and leave pies on the counter, like that says, for them to see. But they couldn't get to them to eat them. That is fucking torturous, bro. Like, if you could do that to your own kids, you're a sick fuck. I got another silver star! Woo! What's up, Venna? Yeah, they were chaining their kids up and then putting out fucking pies for their kids to see after they haven't eaten for fucking days and days and days. That's fucked up, dude. That's a different type of fucking torture. Train your kids up. Don't feed them for fucking days on days. And then say, hey, look at this pie, man. What's up, Freddie? Well, look at this pie down here, man. I'm going to put this pie on the counter, and you ain't going to be able to taste it. Yeah, I'm good. I'm trying to bring in animals off the street and shit. Holy shit. I got an Uncle Alert. I got an Uncle Alert. Uncle Alert! Uncle Alert! That's one of my favorite ones. Uncle.
Right now, 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 right now.
Well, you're talking about American pie. That's not apple pie. I found this homeless kitty you've been feeding. Oh, that's sweet. I haven't had no kitties come up to my door lately. I'm going to buy this is totally off topic, but I think I'm going to buy one of those bird feeders that you can stick to your back door. Thumbs up, dude. I got some thumbs up. I'm just over here clowning. I got a thumbs up. I'm thinking about buying like one of those bird feeders that you can stick to your sliding glass door so my cat can they can come up and get food and my cat can see him and shit. I thought that'd be cool for my cat. I'd like a bird to land on my shoulder. Me too. It's good luck, I heard. Really good luck. Toddy seems like she'd have 20 bird feeders. Facts. I have one of those bird feeders with a camera. That's dope. I don't know what I would do with a camera, but I need one that just like see-through. So that way when they come and fly up to the door, my cat can see him and shit. There was a little doggy that came by earlier. He came up to the door. He was probably like this big. He was a little bitty doggy. He came up to the door. He looked in, and I had my blinds open. And then my cat went up there and was like, "What are you doing, dude?" He was trying to pat his head. I think Karma would do good with another cat. Because he don't like hiss up. You know what I mean? He don't go. He gets like, "Hey, come here." You know what I mean? He gets that like, "What are you? Come here and talk to me, buddy." It's like putting a pie in front of a kid. Yeah. The cat loves bird and squirrel videos. Farmer would be pissed. I think he would do good if it was smaller than him. I really do. He's a lover.
Give us into this case? Well, we have two incredible opportunities today. One, we're going to talk to one of the main investigators on the Turpin case. What led to the greatest discoveries there? What mattered? What was relevant in the analysis of how bad this was, what motivated it, and what you have to look for to make the case as obvious as it may seem.
On it.
Then we'll flip it. Maybe it's not the Turpin case. Maybe it's not what it seems, at least not for everyone involved in the House of Horrors. Maybe not for the mother.
What's up, China?
Which for me, on one level, would be the hardest thing to believe. Why? Because she's the one who gave birth to all these kids, and you would think that she would be the most invested in their well-being. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something else to it. How do we know? Well,
Do you guys think her pupils are dilated any? And I mean like small. Do they look small to you? Yeah, me too, Chris. I thought about getting 2 cats, but I don't want to put another on my fucking leash, to be honest. Yeah, I think if I had a bigger house, I might, but karma's good enough. He'll be he'll be 2 this year. Well, he's 2 in September. Dang, he's already 2 years old. If I could figure out how to quit battling time, my life would be fucking great, dude. It feels like I'm always battling time. Like I'm always trying to beat time. Yeah, karma's a lover.
while there is a gag order for Gary Siders Jr., after his attorney argued that statements made by public officials created a substantial risk of prejudicing potential jurors, that he may not get a fair trial, they put a gag. The attorneys for the other family members criticized the officials' comments as inflammatory, but they are not gagged. And that is an
Oh, we learned there, huh? That's how they're able to do this. They're not gagged. Why would he gag? Dude, wait a minute here. Hold on a minute here. Nobody else in the house has a gag order on all the officials except for Gary? I appreciate you, 410. I think you're on my Insta now. I think you're on Instagram with me. Dude, I thought, see, we're going to have to really, really, really stop fucking like just listening. You know what I mean? And we're going to have to start like getting into this because I thought they were all gagged. I thought once. Why is it just him? Why is it just him? Why is it just that guy that wants everybody to shut up? There's a reason why it's only Gary Jr. that's fucking gagging people. There's a big reason why. And we already probably knew it. He's the center of this. That's probably the biggest reason why he's at the center of all this. Like he is number one, the head in charge in that house. That's who I'm putting all responsibility on. Him and Elizabeth. Had the other adults be a little bit younger, they would bear a lot more responsibility to this as well. But unfortunately, it looks like Gary Sr. is about to pass away, and who knows what's up with his wife. Yeah, they each have their own attorneys because they were given to them. These attorneys jumped for this. This is a big case, man. These attorneys are getting a lot of exposure. You're crazy, Amy. You were crazy. That would be the least of my worries, though, Elizabeth. because it's going to get out no matter what. It just means you can't talk until court, you know? Once court goes on, everybody's going to fucking know. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Arista. You're beautiful. Why would I? No, there's no rush. You're beautiful.
Amazing opportunity for us. And why? Because it allows us to have the attorney for the mother, Elizabeth Siders. Is she a victim? Is that possible? Is it probable? Is there any reason to believe it? Who would know better than her attorney, who has now had some time?
That's what I'm talking about, Leesky. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like that. You got these? Oh, my cat would love that, bro. These are exactly what I'm talking about. See how it's like it just holds on to it. Yeah, my cat would love those. Somebody at work told me to bring it up off the ground too a little bit because the squirrels will get in there. You're right, Lee. I'm going to do that. Kitty is going to have buddies come over.
To familiarize himself.
They can't come in, Karma. They can only hang out on the back porch.
With this case that he did not have when he did his first interview on TV after this case, which was with me. And I told then that attorney, Mr. Tommy Stolley, that I would give him the opportunity. And now I will give him an even better opportunity. I will let him listen to my interview with the Turpin investigator, somebody who knows what to look for in these cases, knows what mattered then.
So the attorney and the Turpins is getting interviewed first. Okay, Cuomo. I don't particularly like you or your brother, but if this is what you're going to do with this, okay. Yeah, squirrels are cute, but they'll knock it down. They're too heavy. It's only held on there by suction cups. I thought about getting him a suction cup fucking stand too. It like leans against the window and it's got two suction cups where he can climb up there and get in the window. My entertainment center that my TV sits on, it's like a fireplace entertainment center. He gets up on top of that one and looks out the window because he got a little spot. So the Turpin case attorney is going to come on.
What should matter now and what he thinks will matter here and what he sees in this situation. He is retired master investigator, Mr. Tom Salisbury. And Tom joins me now and joins me first. Tom, thank you for taking the opportunity.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you also.
You hear what he just said? Thank you for taking the opportunity. What? I mean, I guess it's an opportunity to go on Cuomo, right? Like, what? I think it'd be like, thank you for taking your time and giving it to me. Not thank you for your opportunity. Oh, boy.
So, how surprising that not only would you see something like it again, because when the Turpin came out, I'd never heard anything like that before, but that really, it's just several years later, here we are again. How surprised were you to hear of the House of Horrors?
What are we doing?
Fishing.
Based on the number of children, 16 children.
We weren't doing that.
And the age of the parents and the manner in which they were kept. And I think I first heard about it through the press release.
Take us back to the Turpin case first, for your perspective on this. When you got involved, how did you get your hands around what you needed to look at in that case, and remind people what your role was and why you took it?
Turpin case was crazy.
I was the on-call investigator for our agency, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department in Southern California.
So he was an investigator.
We contract with the city of Paris, and I got called out by a sergeant on the scene. You probably saw him in one of the body-worn camera videos. And he said, I have 13 kids, 2 parents. We came in the house, and one of them was still chained up, and another showed evidence of having just been chained up.
God, dude. Could you imagine chaining your own children up, dude? Put his I might do that, Leesky. I might do that. But I don't really have a spot for it. I mean, I do kind of, I guess. Maybe. I mean, I can always put it in front of the window. It wouldn't bother nothing. Like chaining your freaking kids up, dude. Hi, hillbilly. Yeah, I don't chain my own dogs up. Let me talk. As you said that, check this out. There's a company in Indianapolis that goes around and puts fences up for people so dogs don't have to be on chains. And these people chain their kids up. There is a company that goes around Indianapolis and puts fences up for free for people. They drive around and they see people with dogs on chains because they don't have a fence. It's called No Chains Indy. I swear to God to you, when I had a house out on the south side, they came by and guess what they did? They put a 6-foot fucking chain link fence up all the way around my house just for my dog. Just for my dog. And these people are chaining children up. Their own children. Yeah, they showed up. Plus, our land around that time was flooding, and my dog was up on top of his fucking dog house trying to stay out of the water, and they noticed him. And they came over, dude, and they had a fence put up in a week. Yep, sure did. Came through, put a whole fucking big ass fucking 6-foot one up. Because I had a big dog. Yeah.
So
This motherfucking John Lennon looking motherfucker up there, wannabe ass fucking Grateful. I don't know what kind of haircut he's wearing, but yeah, chained his children up.
I directed him to get the parents to the station, separate interview rooms, and get the 13 kids to the station and call for immediate medical aid and personnel to assess the children. At the same time, I called CPS and asked for as many CPS responders as they could send me.
Ooh.
It was a holiday weekend.
So this is the investigator on the Turpin case. He's going to talk to us about this new case.
So I had to rely on 3 assistants. 2 were not even detectives, but they were part of my robbery burglary suppression team. And the 4th had just gotten to the Bureau days earlier from being a school resource officer for 5 years.
Hi, Rebecca.
So there wasn't a lot of experience.
Hi, Rebecca.
And those of us that had to deal with it. But within minutes, within seconds of walking into the station and seeing the kids, I knew it wasn't going to be pretty.
Mm. Now, the Turpins,
see what I mean? The Turpins had their children outside. They took them to Disneyland or Disney World, whichever one it was. They took them out and about.
Teen children, 2 to 29
they were
years
all
of
skinny,
age.
dude. You could tell.
First, were they all their biological children?
Yes, yes.
And what was the role of foster care in this? Just for people to understand the context. This is not in play in the House of Horrors with the Siders in Ohio, but was this about where they were placed after they were discovered in there, or had they been in, what was the context there?
Thank you, Elizabeth, for the donation, baby. You said how gaslit those kids was, Disney and change. No shit. Act good out in public. You better not tell nobody.
Right now, 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 right now.
Yeah, they didn't put the kids in school either. You're right.
Okay, so the context is I recognize state protocols would separate the adults from the children. I knew they all had to go to the hospital. So I contacted one hospital I work with all the time, Riverside University Healthcare System in Moreno Valley. And I contacted Corona.
That's crazy,
Regional
Lisa.
in the city of Corona. And they both agreed, the Corona agreed to take the adults.
Look, they're all skinny. Every last one of them. There's not an overweight child in that family, but the mom and dad. Imagine that, huh?
And RUHS agreed to take the children where they remained until they were placed in foster care.
How does a 29-year-old get held against their will by their own parents? Help people understand how once you get over, those preteen years, how does it work as a psychological and, of course, criminal dynamic that allows people to still be controlled even when they're adults?
For the fear of what would happen to them if they didn't do exactly what they were told.
Yep.
Meaning, what shape did that take here, and how?
Yeah, that's sad too, Lisa, because they even got abused. Some of the kids got abused in foster care too. The Turpin kids. Yeah, you're right. Some of them went to foster care and got fucked up there too, man. That's why you gotta protect your children. You gotta protect all children. If you see this happening anywhere, we gotta protect all children. All of them.
How did it manifest in a way that was compelling to a 29-year-old, a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old? These people, were they compromised in terms of their intelligence or their mental health? Or do you think it was just conditioning, or both?
No, I think it was mostly mental. I mean, obviously they were severely malnutritioned, severely. But you got to remember, the older they were, the longer they had lived in these conditions. And so the 29-year-old.
That's so they're accustomed to living in these conditions, man. Like, how do you get accustomed to living with nothing but mice and roaches and bed bugs and shit? Like, I mean, we're not talking about a little bit of roaches. Like, you can never have little bits of roaches, right? They always take over. But like, dude, there was millions of them things. There was millions in that Cider's house. Millions. Let alone at night, the fucking mice probably come out, They lived right there on a field and a railroad track. They had mice. That was all they knew. It's so sad. Thank you, Linus. It's sad, man. Okay, I think this guy goes through talking to the Turpins about the Turpin family. I want to see what he says about the Siders family. Really. But then after that, the Siders Elizabeth attorney comes on here.
That's how she learned it would only call 911. These 16 kids, 18 and under, it sounds like, are completely nonverbal. And Chris, I can't imagine that. We all know when kids are born, parents love them, want them to talk, constantly impress upon them, mommy, daddy, mommy, daddy. Who doesn't want to hear their child talk a complete sentence? And none of these talk. And
Dude, that's drugs, man. What makes you not teach your children? What would make you just go, hey, get away from me? Hey, go to the other room. Hey, go in there. Hey, get away from me. What would make you not want to teach your children as two grown adults? Drugs. Drugs would. Yeah, attorney came on after this. Yeah, he comes on second because he wanted the attorney to see what this guy had to say because he questions him. But like, what lets you do that? To not even teach them how to talk, you guys. To not even teach them how to talk. Yeah, why keep having kids? Why? Because y'all addicted to sex and drugs?
that's going to make prosecution very difficult.
So, from an investigative standpoint, on one level, it
Yes,
seems
Kimmy,
very
you already
obvious.
know, girl.
Of course, the
We
defense will
we locked
say,
in, Kimmy.
well, it isn't. This is being completely misunderstood as poverty and maybe poor choices,
No.
but nothing diabolical like what you're trying to compare it to with Turpin.
Nah, it's
What are the
almost as
right
bad.
questions? What are the right avenues of analysis to make it clear what this is about in Ohio with the ciders?
With each individual child they had, 16, they had parental responsibilities. And I'm just talking
Yup.
about mom and dad right now. And they
Yup.
know that they could have gone and gotten monetary assistance and living assistance and food assistance and health assistance and educational assistance and medical assistance from a whole variety of agencies. If they did nothing and they were literally treated like they were feral, then that's on mom and dad. Mom and dad specifically. I agree the grandparents are in the same house, his parents, and they do own a big part of this, a very big part.
Yes, I say the
But
grandparents
mom
do
and dad
too.
were responsible for each and every one of those 16 children.
Yes.
So the legal responsibility you think will be fairly obvious because if kids are in bad shape and you knew about it and it was avoidable, you're going to be hit. Now you get to the next level of the why that was the situation. What do you look at with the Siders case from your experience in Turpin in terms of what are the relevant questions to be pursued?
Well, just regarding dad, it's extremely concerning that he had 3 indecent exposures. I work special victim unit crimes.
I don't want to know if he's even hurting them children, dude. I don't even want to know about that. I don't. I don't even want to even think about it, dude. He's got indecent exposures. Indecent exposure. I wonder what he was doing to those kids, man. He better not have been.
For 16 years. And sometimes, as they were often referred to, weenie waggers are not just weenie waggers. It goes deeper than that.
Weenie waggers? I have never heard that in my entire life. He's a weenie wagger. Holy moly. I just learned something today. He's a weenie wagger, bro. What the hell? I've never heard that statement. A weenie wagger. Weenie wagger. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to remember that one for these dudes that want to show their penis to people. That's fucking foul, dude. I hate people that do sex crimes. I hate that type of person. I think they should fucking be wiped off the face of the planet, if you ask me. People that commit sex crimes are disgusting. I don't care which one it is. Pick out of the whole slew of them. They're all gross, and the way they're thought about while doing the crime is disgusting, dude. I'm sorry. It's gross. All sex crimes. I hate them. I hate them, bro. Wipe them off. Wipe them off the planet, dude. I don't give a fuck what sex crime it is. You could be a weenie wagger. Get the fuck off my planet. You're taking my oxygen, bro. And you're out here running around showing your man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. I don't like any sex crimes. None of them. That shit's weird.
And I have seen incidents
Shit's
of
weird.
family molest by those arrested for indecent exposure.
Now, what does that mean, by the way? Is that what we used to call flashing?
I mean, he's
Yes, exactly, Chris. Exactly.
So that means that somebody, a police officer, someone identified you, or whatever, not you. Somebody identified me as having dropped my pants or something that shows my genitals, I guess, to somebody else, and they complained and identified me, so they had to know who I was, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And that's a
They know where
crime.
you
And then
live.
how do you wind up going to the house?
Well,
Because you
in
identify
most
him as the
cases,
one.
Some
Oh, he'd be weenie wagging a whole lot in jail.
of those people who committed that crime did it in their own backyard, stepping out on their porch in the morning in their robe, facing their neighbors' houses. Some of them would do it in parking lots and intentionally park next to someone or drive up to next to someone walking while they
And
were
be
not
all
only
naked and shit.
flashing, but they were stroking also. And so obviously with a vehicle, there's a physical description of the perpetrator, there's license plates, there's car descriptions. And with the advent of
Okay, let's stop there. So why can't it be just officers went to the house? Because they keep saying, why did they have a search warrant over indecent exposure? Okay, let's look at this scenario. Let's say 6 officers show up to Gary Sider's house, right? And they want to talk to him about this indecent exposure. They open the door, they glance in, see the place is distraught, maybe see a kid or two, and it throws something in their brains. Why can't that be the reason they go on in? Absolutely, they do. They send them to whole different prisons in my state, China. They've got a sex offender camp where I live. Yep, the whole prison's all sex offenders. Yeah, they get secluded. Don't get me wrong, people that hurt children still do get fucked up. Because even people that rape women don't like people that hurt children. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So like even though they go to like their own facility like for sex crimes, like even people that like I don't know, hurt a woman or something, they don't like people that hurt kids either. Usually the chomos do get fucked up once or twice at least. No, I'm not where Josh Duggar is.
how much better cameras and businesses are getting. They're easily identifiable, and it's usually not a one-time offense. So it didn't surprise me when I heard 3.
So forensicists
He did it 3
and
times that they got him
investigators like
for.
you say, don't sleep on the indecent exposure. That it sounds like it's not a big deal, that it's just a pervert, but it is
Yes, they
often a
do.
clue into that person being into much worse than just that. Is that your experience, and why?
Yes, that's exactly my experience. And the reason is, it is like a murder suspect who kills over and over and over often starts out harming animals. So the
Yeah.
indecent exposure is comparable to that, in that that might be the first stepping stone. But they not only went up to the line, once they decided to intentionally flash someone, they went past that line. They did flash him. And then he did it a second time. And then he did it a third time. So he was becoming more and more
Serial.
embraced.
He was a serial weenie wagger. He's a serial weenie wagger, Tom.
The idea that
I'm laughing,
the
but it ain't
father
funny.
who just had that gag order applied, and the mother, meaning the grandparents, okay, looking at it through
Yes.
the lens of the context of the kids, that they they have dementia. They're not that old, by the way, but he's 73, but and she's a little younger than he. But the idea that they're not the masterminds of this, they are just old and broken, and they were taken advantage of too. What do you need to figure
mad
out, and
jacker.
where will you get the answers?
I don't think you need to try to figure out much. So if they were taken advantage of for 18 years and they
Yeah. Yeah. This has been going on. I know he is. I know he is, Rebecca. I know he is. And that's his job to do that, you know. But you can't take away what we've seen with our own eyes. People broke into the property. You know what I mean? People risked their fucking freedom to go there and take video. So, like, nah, they weren't old and broken when she was 15. That's damn straight. She been having kids and having kids and having kids and having kids, and they were just living all together.
never reached out
They're
with
probably
any
all
type
sexual
of
predators.
social services or any type of intervention by law enforcement were being taken advantage of, or relayed their information to any therapist, psychologist,
Doctor.
hospital, anything. Anyone would have helped them if they thought they were being taken advantage.
That's what I said. Why ain't Elizabeth speaking up? Those are her babies. Why isn't she speaking up and going, dang, man, we were taken advantage of. I was taken advantage of. This is not me. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I was being taken advantage of. She's not, though. She's just like, this is how we were living. Nothing's wrong. Everything's blown out of proportion. No way is that going to work. It's sad, man.
Advantage of.
That ain't going to work in court.
They were definitely complacent in all this, 100%.
That ain't going to work in court.
But they weren't taken advantage of. They opted to live there. They opted to move. I don't know the number of times, the number of times they moved. And so they had options too. And they didn't even reach out for any help for their grandchildren.
Oh,
Right. So you'd have to show that
they were
incompetent.
all complacent with it.
Their case is pretty easy. A lawyer's going to have to make the case that they're not mentally competent, that they couldn't make any of the decisions that you see as reasonable because they're not in a reasonable state of mind. And that'll be the challenge. And we all know how that goes. Now, and so then you get to Siders Jr., the guy with the indecent exposure
Let's get
allegations.
to him, bitch. He's a bitch.
And his wife, who gave birth, as far as we know, to all 16 of these kids, was a child bride. The obvious way that you get into the story, as you did with Turpin, is through the kids. What if you don't have the kids? What if they can't help you with the prosecution? How do you now not just explain it all away as poverty? You've got no
16 kids. There's going to be enough of them that are going to help. I promise you. Yep. There's 16 of them, guys. There's 16 of them. The odds are way against you. I'm sorry to say, There's 16 of them, man. Their odds are way against them. Them kids are going to speak, man. Them kids are going to tell on them. Whatever they were doing, they're going to get told on. I promise you. Some of those kids are going to talk. They're going to be able to tell what happened. Definitely. If they were getting on social media and shit, making posts and shit, they're definitely going to be able to tell. I'm telling you.
Documentation. You've got no agency interaction. You've got no
I know,
schooling
Lisa.
For that perspective. The kids haven't said anything. They can't say anything. How do you get the truth of what happened? Because you say, I locked them in a 12 by 12 room. They're covered in shit and this and that, and they haven't eaten. And I say, yeah, I'm all right. I'm a bad parent, but I wasn't trying to be a bad parent. I'm broke and it's hard. And I got a lot of kids and I'm a little brainwashed and I'm a little stupid. I'm a little simple. And I wasn't trying to hurt my kids. This is the best I could do.
Yeah, no,
I think so too, Mindy.
Defense. I agree with your one statement.
Like, look at this place,
It's
man.
going to be nearly impossible for the kids to relay the details of what they survived through, like the Turpins did.
Physical evidence.
Very difficult, and it's going to take some of the best professionals to elicit that information, not just law enforcement professionals, but medical and child life specialists and all those people. And it could turn out, I do believe they will end up getting statements.
I do too.
They might not all be verbal statements, like perfectly recorded interview statements of fact about how they were maltreated. It could come from the professionals and the medical staff and drawings of what's right and what's wrong.
There's a lot of ways to get it.
If
there's a lot of ways, man. We've come a long way in this shit, dude. And there's a lot of ways to get it out that they were harmed. You know, I'll tell you what, them not even being able to speak or relay messages to you, that's enough right there, guys. That is enough right there. You're not got them in school. Look at the house. That's endangering your child right there. Like, it's not the fact that they have a mental problem, so they act this way. It's because you're not teaching them. They're not going to school. They're living in filth. Roaches crawling all over them. Mice all over them when they're sleeping. Like, you know them. I got to thinking about it, and I was like, imagine the mice that go through there at night. You know? They were right by a train track. There was a fucking all-around field mice. Yeah. It was probably a scary, scary sight to live there at night. I'm just saying. And that in itself is endangering your children.
Have dementia, you interview them, it is what it is, and they're going to get tested. To the extent that Gary Siders Jr., the one with the indecent exposure stuff, the one who's supposedly the biological father of these kids, now you're going to know all that too. That's just DNA. They're going to find out who's the daddy and who's the mommy. So they'll know if there's any overlap with the grandparents and the parents here. So you'll get that piece. But after that, what kinds of interviews, assuming that they're at all cooperative, because they could just say, no, we're not talking to you. Charge us if you want to charge us. But I
don't think you're going to get that.
What are those interviews like with the parents?
The interviews with the parents is very difficult. And I was in law enforcement for 42 years, Chris. And my theory was, no matter what the case, always treat people like I would want my family treated if they were in that situation. And I would say I got statements. I won't call them confession. I got statements 95% of the time, not by browbeating people, not by threatening them, but just talking to them and conversating with them and building up rapport with them and learning about their life before whatever events happened. And most of those events were related to special victim unit type crimes.
See, there they are younger. So here's about the time when she was younger. Could he have been sleeping with her at this age? Look at him. Look at her. They were way younger. So was Gary Jr. and so was Elizabeth. They were much younger as well. You think he was a creep? I'm just asking. School is needed, whether you do it at home or at school. School is needed. You have to learn. There's a lot of stuff that you don't take into your normal everyday life, and I get that. But there's a lot of stuff that you will.
Including child deaths, infant deaths.
Yes, but here they're lawyered up.
Yeah,
So
you're not going to be able to talk to them unless it is through their attorney, and that's not unheard of. Because
look at that, bro. Look at that, man. That just looks like drugs to me, man. It does. It looks like drugs to me. Does it not to you? That looks like drugs have taken over. I'm just being honest, man. I feel like this is drugs, man. I think there's an aspect of drugs involved in this. There just has to be. I don't know anything else that would allow all of this to go on. I don't know if they were shooting up or anything. Like, we don't have any, like, reference to that, but I'm just thinking that, And I'm never saying what if. I don't know. It looks to me like that's like drugs, man. And look, at the age she is on the left, she's supposed to get even more prettier. As she gets a little older, she was probably only 22 in that photo. Like, she's supposed to become 30 and be a bad bitch, right? No drugs in her system. Did they drug check? They probably drug tested her. Man. Why? It's just crazy, dude.
well, sometimes clients want to explain.
And I said, well, then let's do this.
All right, here we go. Here's Elizabeth's attorney.
Take some time, go get to know the record. You are welcome to come back and make the case as you find it at that time. He said, okay. I didn't really mean it. And then he called me on it. No, I'm kidding. Of course I meant it. And that's why Mr. Stolle joins me now. Counsel, thank you for taking the opportunity.
Chris, thanks for having me. I'll notice that you did not call it the House of Horrors when it was my turn to speak on this. You referred to it as deplorable conditions, but refrain from House of Horrors. I can appreciate that.
Well, look, that is what the media is.
Whoa! 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 Whoa, little feller. This is my fucking show, bud. I'll call it whatever I want. That would have been my response. You know what I'm saying? You little sassy bitch boy, you better shut your ass up, boy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You come to my show. I'll call it what I want to call it. He's an asshole.
Is calling it, and the stylized version of stories is part of the court of public opinion.
Like, we've looked. Have you seen the house there, attorney? Mr. Attorney. We got to figure out his name. We got to get his name. I'm gonna rewind it when we're done here, get his name, because I'm gonna have to give him a nickname through all this, because I'm covering this. I'm covering every aspect of this case, y'all. This is wild. This motherfucker.
Different than the court of law.
Like, would you call that house a house of horrors if you knew 16 kids was living in all that smut and fucking dirt and trash and fucking bugs? That is a house of horrors, bro. I think we all seen the videotape, attorney.
You are free to object to its use. I understand. But the challenge for you is to prove to me that I shouldn't use that term. Ooh. What have you learned since we last spoke that has informed your position that the way this is being covered is not reflective of the reality?
Well, Chris, I want to start out by first and foremost saying I listened to Tom's piece.
Thomas Stoley. Thomas Stoley is his name. Thomas Stoley.
I understood what he had to say in regards to the Turpin case. Tom has the benefit at this point of having the Turpin case having been litigated. They have taken pleas. That case is over. The evidence played out in a court of law. Mm-hmm. The evidence will play out in a court of law in this case too. At this point, we are still so very early on here. My client has still not been indicted. The prosecutor has not decided when exactly they're going to present this case to a grand jury. I don't know what charges are going to be brought before the grand jury. The defense is not part of that. So my discussions here, once again, will be informed by my perceptions, having talked to my client, the facts to the extent that we have them, and then doing the best of that I can to distinguish this case from cases like the Turpins, because I understand, much like you're saying, this case is being discussed this way in the media. So people are naturally drawing those comparisons. I think,
buddy, we've seen the house. Everybody has seen the house. This is why I hate attorneys, dude. Attorneys are one of the sickest people in the world, bro. As far as like having to get up and go do this as your job, like, you guys are devils, dude. I'm just saying. Attorneys are devils, man. Attorneys have to go into court and go on oath and fucking lie to get you off the hook. Think about that. That is the most sick and twisted thing I've ever heard in my life. Because the funny thing is, they will put you under oath and swear on the Bible and swear in court. And them attorneys will go in there and lie back and forth and try to get people on and off cases. Go in there and just lie. These motherfuckers they're devils, man.
Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Put some meat on the bones. What have you learned in discussions with your client that makes you feel it's not a Turpin case, other than what you're right about, but it's just unsatisfying in terms of correcting the perception that, hey, it hasn't gotten to trial yet. True. I respect that. As an officer of the court, I respect that. You're right. Due process matters. Yes. It doesn't matter to people's opinions. Nope. And they don't need to know anything to have an opinion. And that's the difference between where we are right now and where you want to be, which is within the system.
And you're
right about the system, but we're outside the system. And when people see what they've been told about the kid's situation, don't they already know enough to believe that this was a grotesquely wrong situation?
He's not going to lay on me.
So let's break it down piece by piece. First and foremost, we're talking about the Turpins. This
He
was
just
a
sat
case
up.
where there were restraints used. Tom went into detail about the restraints, the
Yes.
different types of
Chained them
chains.
up.
Yeah, chained these kids up.
Yeah.
There's a pure and simple distinction here is the fact that one of the first pieces of evidence that came out in this case from the prosecutor of Vinton County was the fact that there was no evidence of restraints, no evidence of ropes or ties, no chains, no cages. There was no evidence that these kids were in any way confined in this home. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the punishments that the Turpins would inflict upon their children. That right there is a patent distinction from this case. There is no evidence at this point that these kids were punished in any way for trying to leave the home, that these kids were punished for trying to come out of the room. In fact, there's no evidence that these kids were not free to move about the house to the extent that it existed. And I think one of the most grotesque things about the Turpin case is the fact Tom alleged that they didn't have much. They lived in a middle to upper middle class home in Southern California.
They did.
The notion that they didn't have much is false.
I'm sorry. You can be as poor as you want to be, or not as you want to be. I don't think anybody wants to be poor. So I don't want to take away from it, right? Because a lot of us are poor, like myself. But a lot of people can live poor, but they don't live dirty. You might even live dirty, right? But not filthy. You might even live filthy, right? But you don't live in squalor. That was fucking squalor. That was inhumane squalor. Ladies and gentlemen, they were living worse than the Whitakers. Times 10. And a lot of people had their judgments on how the Whitakers lived. This was that times 10. There is no middle class. Don't let them fool you by that word. There is no middle class. If you wake up every day and you have to worry about a bill the next month, you're fucking poor. You're fucking poor. Only the rich wake up every day and don't have to worry about a fucking thing when it comes to money. Okay? That's rich, then you got poor. It's only one or the other. They don't have a middle class anymore. That's a joke.
Especially when compared to the Siders family. Vinton County is one of the poorest, if not the poorest, county in the state of Ohio.
I am so tired of hearing this. This is the poorest place in Ohio, guys. The poorest place. The poorest place in West Virginia. This is the saddest place in Appalachia. This is so poor. I thought Odd was the poorest place in Appalachia. Now it's Vinton County. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. If you're poor, you don't live in squalor. Sorry. You got 16 kids, make them do something. You got 16 kids, 6 of them can clean. Well, you can have them on an every 2-week chore list. You won't even have to do chores, but every 2 weeks. Like, what? I'm poor as fuck. My house clean, though. People come to my house, I don't want them saying, ugh, hell no. Fuck I look like? Ugh, I don't go AD how he funky. Ugh.
It reflects a lot of Southeast Ohio.
No.
But seriously.
Stop that.
This home is...
This dude is a turd.
Isolated. It is far away from the neighbors.
What the fuck does that got to do with anything? This home is isolated and far away from the neighbors. Yeah, which made it easier for them to endanger their children. That's why nobody knew they had the children. Stupid.
So let's look at the house. The Turpins made choices. They had a depiction of their family online. Those were their choices. That's why people didn't know what was going on in that home, was because they portrayed this folksy family image online. They made sure that all the kids had matching outfits. They made sure that the pictures of the kids at Disney were posted on Facebook. They made sure that
I don't give a fuck. So you think that that makes it worse? No, it makes it worse that the Siders tried to eliminate their kids from the face of the earth. They tried to make them not to where they could even speak. They just stored them away. That's even worse. Like, what are we doing apples and oranges for this, attorney? This is apples and oranges, bro. This Cuomo said, put some meat on the bones. Tell me a reason why we shouldn't call this the House of Horrors. He's not doing that.
that people saw them purchasing these lavish toys and stuff that Tom was referring to. These things were stuffed in their garage. So the Turpins made choices, and they had the money to make those choices.
So
and their
what?
choices
Look at
were
Cuomo.
wrong, and that's why that case.
But even if the Turpins are worse, it does not relieve the onus
Apples and oranges, bro.
of your client and her relatives being terrible. Are you saying
Hey,
that at
stupid.
this point you believe that your client has done nothing wrong?
Well, Chris, when you have a situation where a family cannot afford to take care of children, or there are home conditions that are not appropriate for children, there is an action.
That makes it bad on the adults for not getting them out of that situation, you fucktard.
There was a legal action for that. In the state of Ohio, it's called a dependency action. There's a dependency action in this case. I happen to be Elizabeth's attorney in that action as well. It is not necessarily felony child endangerment. So these kids, the Siders' children, were removed not through the felony case, but they were removed through the juvenile court proceeding. That is the dependency case in this matter. That's where the agency is involved. And that's where I see lots of these cases play out. I'm an attorney that practices frequently in Southeast Ohio.
He thinks the kids just need taken. There's no charges here. You hear this shit? What a scumbag, bro. What a scumbag. She said, man, the kids just need taken, man. There's no charges need fucking filed here. That's what he just said. That's what he's going to fight. That they should just take away the kids. They shouldn't really file charges on Elizabeth. Let's hear him speak about that with his children.
See these cases. I have cases not dissimilar to this one where, because it did not receive the media attention, my clients are not being painted as monsters.
The guys who investigated this case, Tommy,
Yep.
were horrified by what they saw, and this is what they do.
It really looks further. It's the type of thing that we're not used to seeing here in America.
And it's only Gary with the
And-
gag.
You know, one of the things that this clinician pointed out to me in assessment of these things, which is a powerful perspective, poverty is real. Poverty can be crippling. And people keep having kids because it gives them an avenue to dignity, not because they're working the system for more money or anything like that, but sometimes it's just all they have in their lives, so they keep doing it. But a huge red flag is when you see the parents in one condition and the kids in another. And by all accounts, these kids, nonverbal, almost feral, covered in never in school, never to a doctor, and the parents relatively healthy, means they made one set of choices for them and another set of choices for the kids. How do you escape that here?
So, Chris, I think actually I take issue with some of that, because I'm not sure that the parents were living in any different conditions. We do not know at this point the health conditions of the kids. I don't even know that, and I represent Elizabeth in the dependency action. We will get that information. That's something I will be privy to in that case. We also don't know the status of the parents' health conditions. What we do know.
Are you fucking kidding me? Did he just literally sit up here and say, we don't know the status of how the parents are, man? They could be unhealthy too. Word salad, guys. Word salad. This is word salad.
Is that all of the citers, the 16 children.
I'll tell you what, I hope he takes this into court. I hope he takes this exact same fight into court and thinks he's going to win. I really do. Because he's going to fucking lose.
And the 4 adults were all living in that home together. So whatever the conditions were, they were all living in that home.
Right, but you know more than that. You know that the kids were found to be malnourished. The kids have no medical records. The kids were never in school.
I keep hearing that, China. But the problem is, Christina wasn't in depression. Gary wasn't in depression. Gary Sr. wasn't in depression for all of these years. You see what I'm saying? I get she could be in depression. Fuck, who wouldn't be? Look what she's going through. But like, what's up with dad? What's up with pops? What's up with grandma? They're not changing this for this family. They're not going to get help. They're not fucking reaching out to get anything. No fucking stamps. So it's kind of obvious that they were like, I don't know, kind of hiding them. Legal speak, yeah. This is jargon, man. This is fucking jargon right here. Ooh, we got some kitties. This is a bunch of legal jargon. Yeah, you can't understand living like that because none of us would. Living like this is like, what?
That a couple of the kids require such extreme medical help that they were afraid the kids weren't going to survive, several of them, not just one. Even accounting for her father-in-law's diminished capacity, none of them checked those boxes. You know plenty. They may not have been proven in a court of law beyond a reasonable doubt at this point, but the idea that you have nothing to go on is a little disingenuous. No, counsel?
Yeah.
Well, Chris, it's standard procedure. Whenever there's an investigation like this, and particularly when children are removed from a home, to have them evaluated. Mm-hmm. It would be inappropriate of me to discuss the medical conditions because I don't know.
But the Attorney General knew, and he said another 24 hours could have resulted in 1 or more deaths. Most of our livestock are kept in better conditions. He'd never seen anything like it in all his years of doing this. Damn. Extreme neglect, almost feral. You think he's just making it up?
Well, Chris, we've already debunked the myth that these kids were almost feral. The ones that
having a social media site doesn't mean they weren't almost feral, guys.
That were of appropriate age had social media pages. There's evidence of that online now. We've debunked that. These kids could talk. They spoke when the police came in. These kids, you have to remember, were terrified when police officers, multiple police officers from multiple agencies with a battering ram came in serving this search warrant. That was the axis of approach coming into this house. So these kids, as any kids would be, were terrified.
So you're saying that some of them can speak?
Yes.
And have you had a chance to speak to any?
I have not, Chris.
But the mother confirms this to you. That's where you're getting it from.
Yes.
She says they can speak. They'll be able to communicate.
Yes.
Do you think that makes it better or worse for your client?
I think it dispels.
Good question, dude. Good question, boy. Woo! That one was good. Damn. I'm taking notes. That was a good fucking question, man. Damn. Damn. I'm taking notes on that question. That one come from the hip, boy. It was like, wow. He was like, well, like, you know, them kids is going to tell on mom for having them living like that, right? That's what it said. What do you think? That was a good question, boy.
She says they can speak, they'll be able to communicate.
Yes.
Do you think that makes it better or worse for your client?
I think it dispels.
You didn't answer the question. Better or worse? Well, I think it dispels the fact that they can't look.
A lot of the nonsense that we've seen about this case.
It didn't answer it.
Chris, I mean, if we're talking about feral children, those are children who do not understand the world. Those are children who we really would want to examine the conditions in which they were living for some sort of abuse. If the kids can speak, I think that changes the analysis. If
they go live in that house.
You see what I mean there?
Oh, no, listen, I hear you, but I'm just saying, you know, you're going on what the mother told you. So according to the mom, you don't have a reason to believe at this point, because you haven't gotten any of the records yet. I understand that. I'm giving you that space because if you haven't been given it to you yet, you don't really have to invest any credibility in it, especially in your position. I'm okay with that. But according to the mother, she doesn't believe that any of the kids were close to death or even that sickly. She doesn't believe that any of them were covered in feces or in any way that makes it look like they were incredibly abused. She doesn't believe that they're non-communicative and incredibly malnourished to the point of physical extreme illness.
Well, I will certainly answer the feral children remark, the kids being non-communicative. My mom, my client, the mom of these children, absolutely disputes that. And I want to go back to a point that you had made earlier, Chris. You were talking about these things.
I don't know, man. I don't think so. Not in Appalachia. I don't think they're going to get no liberal judge down there, buddy.
That we're talking about.
I don't think they're going to get one down there.
The Attorney General described the case.
Right.
The biggest piece of issue that I'm taking with this is the fact that the Attorney General didn't know what he was talking about when he made these statements. We don't know that he went in the home. We have no evidence that the Attorney General went into the home. We know investigators went into the home. The Attorney General made these remarks and made, frankly, inappropriate remarks prior to a thorough investigation being done. So I don't want to come on here and be disingenuous with you and tell you, well, mom thought X, Y, and Z, or this was the case until I have that information. My office is in the process of gathering that information. That's what we would do in any criminal case. But here, there's a lot of evidence to gather. And I want to make sure that I'm very clear when I say we will do that. We will get the answers.
Oh, listen, I don't have any question about it. Look, I feel that you're being, you know, in our practice, they'll often say, are you being too cute by half? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But we're going to know what the condition of the kids were. We're going to know because they're going to have been independently evaluated in real time, and it will have been documented, and we'll know their size, their weight, their blood, and what's going on. We're going to know that. What we won't know necessarily is why this happened the way it did. Now, at this point, do you understand better your client's role in the treatment of these kids? Do you understand that she was able to make the choices for them that she thought were right, or was she in any way controlled in this dynamic?
Chris, I don't know that I have an answer as to the dynamics within the home beyond my client. I can tell you what my client has told me.
Yeah, sometimes it's not worth even having these guys on.
She loves.
Sometimes it's not worth even having these attorneys on. I can see, because they're just gonna fucking word salad you. They're just gonna go around your question with some fucking stupid innocent answer.
It's very clear from our interactions that she absolutely loves these kids, and she has very fond things to say about the stuff that they would do.
We as the public will know too, a little bit, Lisa, because people are already FOIA. People are already FOIA-ing the arrest arrest videos, the Sallyport videos, the check-in videos. So if they're already getting those, all the paperwork is going to come out on this. Everything is going to come out on this. Because if they're already getting those videos, then they're going to be able to get everything on this. So we'll be able to go over it all. Now, as far as the kids, I don't think we'll get any documentation. We'll just get court records on to how, like, the criminal court side of it will be. Info about minors, like, as far as, like, they'll still talk about injuries and all that on them. You'll get the criminal side of it, I promise. Now, once it goes to, like, them not living with mom and dad and stuff like that, then no. Yeah, but you'll still get, like, there was the children weighed this. You'll still get all that because it'll be in, like, the criminal documents. I promise y'all. We won't get, like, names and things like that probably, but that just depends on who releases it. They might get that, but I really don't care for that.
Around the house, the stories that they would tell, the interactions that they would have that seem like normal family interactions.
Well, what is her explanation for the abnormal? Did she try to get the medical help? Did she try to get intervention and help for food? Did she say that my husband wouldn't let me, or he made this happen and he told me if I didn't, then I'd never? Is there any explanation that goes with how the kids wound up in the situation that they were found?
Well, we have not gotten to that point. That is going to be a discussion that I have with my client once we actually have the evidence, because I'm not able to speak intelligently with her about what the conditions were. I have the information that's been reported. But what I will say on that point, Chris, is this is very clearly a case where my client and the Siders family were living in extreme poverty. And sometimes when you're living in a case like that, you're living in a home and that's what you've known for years and years, you don't necessarily see how bad things have gotten. You don't necessarily see this the way that the rest of the world would. And this is truly the case in Southeast Ohio, where someone like you or I, Chris, would look at this and say, all right,
wow,
I wouldn't live in this house. I wouldn't allow my children to sleep in a bed that looks like that. Or, I would not allow my children to do whatever it is. But that's different for people who have lived a different reality.
Yes, but the question is, where they live in a different reality, within a different reality, which is what they exposed their kids to, where they have a legal responsibility. Does it bother you that your client doesn't look underweight, her husband doesn't look underweight, and the in-laws don't look underweight? And there is, unless they're all wrong, right? I mean, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. But if these kids all wind up being incredibly malnourished and underweight, doesn't that give you some cause for concern?
Well, I'll speak directly as to my client, Chris. My client does look underweight. She
Not
looks,
to me.
Okay.
No, she looks like a fine young girl.
I physically sat with her in the jail. I'm seeing someone who is thin, is pale, is emaciated. And so
has she been evaluated? She's been in the system for a bit now. Do you get medical treatment there?
I don't know, because I have not seen her jail records in terms of the medical evaluation.
But counsel, you would know if she had been examined. And
you
the system
her,
has a responsibility upon it and a liability if they do not, or if they fail to get her necessary emergency medical treatment. So if she was really malnourished, it would have been developed by this time, and you would know. Isn't that true?
So we don't have any information regarding emergency medical treatment at this point. I'm sure that a routine medical evaluation was done at the jail. I have not seen the results of that.
But if she were in crisis, you would likely know, and some of the kids were hospitalized and kept there in crisis. That's why I'm drawing the distinction.
Well, right. But the thing is we don't actually know what the condition the kids were in. We know that the kids were taken and evaluated, and potentially some of them were taken to the hospital. We don't know what hospital. We don't know what the conditions were.
He's
we
lying.
don't know the durations of the stay to the extent that they happened.
Right.
So from my client's perspective, no, I don't. That she didn't go to the hospital. I believe she's been evaluated in the jail, but I don't have access to those records.
I got you. Go ahead, Tommy. Two other things, and I appreciate you. And by the way, the invitation extends. Okay, as you guys develop more things and you want a platform, I'm going to be a fair broker on it. Why? Because the truth is always enough. That's why. That's why I don't have an agenda on this other than what should be obvious to everybody. Poor, often out of your control. Poor, often out of your control. Clean, rarely out of your control.
Yep.
I come from a family of people who were very, very poor.
He said it right there, what we've all been saying. Shout out to Cuomo. I can't stand these brothers, but whatever. He's saying what we all been saying in the chat. Everybody that's ever watched this has said, you know, it's one thing to be poor. It's another thing to be filthy, you know. And shout out to him for bringing that up. It sounds like he's been watching people on the internet and decided to ask the questions that everybody wanted to hear.
Poor, very poor, not dirty. Never find a house, a room in the tenement that they lived in that had shit all over it. How does she explain that condition in this home?
Well, Chris, did you grow up with 16 kids in your home?
Oh, no,
Nope.
no.
But
Okay.
I can
6 of those kids would have been getting that shit up off of them.
tell you, there could have been 36.
Right.
There would have been no room covered in shit in any house that they were in.
All right. Well, we have not seen the evidence, so we
Oh, my God. This is where the system is kind of broken with reality right here. Because he's up here playing this lawyer role because we have to go through court, you know, all the evidence taken. But we literally have had people, like, we didn't have them do it, but people came on the internet that have broken into this home days after this went down, videotaping it and showing and what squalor they were actually living in. I don't know what planet this guy's living on, but I hope he keeps it up, and that's what he does in court.
We don't know to the extent. I know what was said by investigators, and I can appreciate that. But I am
We've
taking
seen it,
that
guys.
with a grain of salt at this point until we actually see the discovery. I would like to see the condition of this home. I would like to see the floors. I would like to see the bedding. I would like to see where these kids.
How's he acting like he didn't see the video, dude? How's he acting like he has not seen that video? These motherfuckers are demons, man. Lawyers are demons. This video's everywhere. Yeah, look online, you'll see it. He's seen it. He's seen it. You know what he's doing? He's looking right in that camera and bold-faced lying his ass off like lawyers do. He's bold-faced lying, dude. Like just bold-faced lying, man. It's getting real easy for people to do it these days.
We're interacting on a day-to-day basis.
So why haven't you gone?
What my client tells me, Chris, is that
Why haven't you gone out there, Tommy Stolley? How busy are you?
Well,
Oh, why are you going out to the house, Tommy Stolley? What are you doing, waggy wank wank? You go do your job, bro.
very busy, Chris.
He just wants the notoriety from this.
But in addition to that, this home is an active crime scene. The investigators are completing their investigation. The prosecutors have not yet gone to.
Let me tell you this. He is the attorney for the people that are involved in this crime scene. He is 100% allowed to go to that crime scene. He's lying his fucking teeth
the
out.
grand jury proceedings on this case. So the investigation is not done even from a law enforcement perspective, let alone from a legal defense perspective. So it wouldn't be routine of me to go out at this point. One of the things that's truly concerning to me are these supposed images that are coming out of the home. To the point that I asked the prosecutor about it in person. I said, "Were images released of the house?" He said, "No." What about the pictures?
I will let you know what I see. Although these days, just because I see it doesn't mean that it's real.
Right.
But I'm happy to relay it because we'll want commented on it, obviously. And has she given you an explanation that way? Like, what do you mean they're saying there was piss all over that room? No way, that's not true. Has she said that to you?
Well, what she said to me is that with 16 kids, things could get messy fast. So
I don't care. I don't care. There would be one rule in my house with 16 fucking kids. There's one rule in my house with 3 kids. Pick up after yourself. Everything will stay clean. Period. Am I right or wrong? Pick up after yourself and everything will remain clean. Not only will you not have to clean it, but it will remain clean as long as you just clean up after what you did. It's that simple. Literally. I don't care how many fucking kids you got. So what is she going to blame this on? Laziness? So she's just lazy? That's neglect.
I don't know more beyond that, and I'm not.
Right, but messy. Look, we're both in the family game. Messy's messy. It's not like she had 16 Rottweiler puppies. These were human beings. There's a bathroom in the house. You're supposed to use it. That is going to be a very low bar for people's estimation of what this is. My other question, go ahead, Tommy. Give me your comment, and then I got one other question.
Okay, I appreciate that. I think the important distinction here is you and I could even agree that the conditions in this home were not good, that the conditions in this home were not something that you and I would live in. I think we could probably agree on that right here, right now, no discovery.
I would say anybody should live in. If they are half of what has been described, then it was not habitable and it was abusive. If it's half of what was described. But to your point, I don't know. But if they're all that wrong, you're in good shape. If investigators are that grossly incorrect, you're in good shape.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when they use language like they've used, it is impossible not to draw those comparisons. It's impossible not to have those images evoked in your mind.
Buddy, we've seen the images though. Like, they just don't want to admit that what we've seen is real. They don't want to admit it. It ain't the prosecutors that let the fucking pictures out. It was people that went there and got photos of them, and they circle around. Like, internet sleuths are undefeated when they do things like that. Like, you can't beat the internet, buddy. Sorry.
Of course, it sounds disgusting. So the difference is, and the important point is, yes, we might not want to live in this home, but does that make it criminal? And that is the answer that we don't have.
Yes, it does.
Understood.
Yes, it does. To the level that they were living in, it makes it criminal. Yes, absolutely it does. Especially on top of them not being in school, especially on top of them not being malnutrition, especially on top of them being moved. Like, yes, absolutely it's criminal. What are you talking about, mister? What are we even doing here? I would beat this guy. What? Bro's lost.
And we won't have for some time.
We have the presumption of innocence.
100%. 100% due process, brother. That's all that matters to me. I believe that those are the two most important words when it comes to the administration of justice in our country. Due process. As long as there's due process, everything else will take care of itself. Things can still go sideways and often do, but that's what matters most. And to the extent that I can, I give you due process as an instrument of fairness, which is my standard. I'm not objective. No human being is, let alone one who's a parent and has lived a long time and seen a lot of cases the way I have. It's hard for me to be objective. I don't really even want to be objective. I want to be fair. And the last question of that's a fair question to ask, even at this point, when someone is now safe from who they were with, okay, because she is not being held with her husband, and he absolutely has automatically more exposure than she does, no pun intended, although now that I said it, it's pretty clever, because of the cases against him, and you do not represent him. One of the first things that she would have communicated to you and everybody else is, thank God I'm away from him.
Chat, am I good or what? Am I good or what? Am I good or what, y'all? Is that not what AD's been saying from the very beginning, yo? This would be her ultimate opportunity to say, he had me fucked up, man. He had me fucked up. She didn't do it, man.
This is all him. Thank God we're all safe now. Have you gotten any indication of that from your client?
Chris, I would put a big asterisk and a maybe by that comment.
We all
Maybe
got the same
she would have
questions,
said
guys. That's a
But
good thing.
The idea of victimhood here is not singular. Not every victim is the same. We've had this discussion before. My client doesn't see herself as a victim at this point. Now, we're looking into that. That is something that we're absolutely looking into. That's going to take time. There are instances where people are removed from situations where it takes a long time for them to come to a different reality. For them,
Very true. Very true.
them to realize that they are out of that space, that they are in a safe space. Right now, my client has been through a tough couple weeks. She's been removed from her children. She's sitting in jail. She's not privy to the information that you and I are, even if some of that information is really tough to digest, at least in the allegations. So at this point, it's going to take time. It's going to take professional evaluation.
I agree.
By people who are more qualified than me, who are able to make determinations on trauma, on some of the circumstances that led her to being where she's at.
Has she been able to communicate with her husband?
I have no information about that. I would say no for several reasons. Well, I'd say no.
Let's ask the real questions over here, chat. We asking the real questions. I do think she was a victim to an extent and should be held liable for going along with this. Yeah, but to what extent should she be held liable? You know what I mean? What extent should she be held liable? Like, should it be like drop charges a little bit, maybe? Like, you could do a lot of things with this, but she's not getting her kids back. Unfortunately, she's not seeing those kids again until she gets done with all this and they're 18. In order for her to get out of this, she's going to have to prove that she was being held to do this. This is her lawyer's first case. OMG, bro.
Because she's in jail, and two, because there's a no contact order.
Why is there a no contact order between the parents?
Well, I can only comment on my client's case. I will not make any comment with regards to any other of the cyber cases.
With yours, why is there a no contact?
standard in any criminal proceeding where they're co-defendants.
Yeah.
And does she have any information about how many different homes the kids are in right now and how many have gotten out of the hospital?
No. And Chris, I don't even have that information. I would probably be the first to get that information.
Well, counsel, I remain a call away and at your disposal to give any new information that changes or enhances the perception of this case, because people are paying attention for obvious and for good reason. This is a good test of the system, and I appreciate you participating in it.
Well, Chris, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to.
Think, if you ask me, up until that last statement, he was very disingenuous. You know? The last statement of him saying, hey, it takes time, you know, a victim that's been in this long, it takes a lot of time to know she's in a safe place, right? I get that. I understand that one. But all the way up until then, he sucked. My brother wrote her a letter with his phone number so she can call him. Good. Good. I don't think anybody should be just like locked away and not have any outside like interaction with people. Look, I don't even wish jail on my worst enemy. I don't have any enemies, like, you know what I mean, real enemies. But even if I had enemies, I would not even wish jail on them. Jail fucking sucks. You're not supposed to wish jail on your enemies anyways, because you can't get them in there. What do you guys think, man? We're going to pay. What do you guys think? Keep paying attention to this? You think AD should keep covering this? I think I've been pretty much on the money with it. Cuomo asked the things that we wanted to know, and he failed. I hope she called him. He said he's seen her like a month before and then met him, shook his hand and shit. I say we keep covering it, man. I do. I don't know, man. Something about this thing with when this true crime stuff involves children, it takes me to a different place, guys. It gets my adrenaline pumping because I've got children. And guess what? Y'all have children too. And from a lot of the people that's been in my chat lately that I know of, y'all would never treat your children like this. This is like some off the wall stuff here. We've all seen the videos of the house. We all have seen the pictures of the house. Daylight, dark time, roaches everywhere. That's not saying, hey, and it's only like a 2-bedroom home. So you got all of those kids in one room. I can't see where anybody's going to believe that that's just living poor. I don't see how you can come off as saying you're going to win this case by saying, well, we were just living poor. We were just poor. I don't know if that one's going to work, man. The Pawleys Island Church, I have to look at that. Yeah, man, that's not just living poor. That's living in squalor. I followed the Whitaker case, and I thought they lived kind of bad, right? But they were living worse. They were living much, much worse. Much, much worse. A year and a half. He probably took this to get more cases. You know what I mean? Even if he loses, he's still going to get the notoriety of being on this case. So it was a good choice, probably. But she has to accept him, and the reason why she accepted him is he probably did it pro bono. Went right down there, started talking to her like, "Hey, I could be your attorney for free. I just want you, you know what I mean?" Yeah, my grandmother used to tell me about washing diapers by hand. That's the kind of diapers you bought. Was they didn't have regular diapers. And she said she used to wash them by hand. But that was foul. The way they're living was unheard of. Everybody have a beautiful evening. God bless the children, man. That's all we got. Our children is our future, guys. You understand that? Think about that. Our children and our grandchildren are our future. When we're old and can't do nothing about what's going on in the world, they're the ones that are going to be in charge. They're the ones that are going to be running this country. They're the ones that are going to be making decisions. They're the ones that's going to be taking care of you. So teach them well, and make sure you know that they know that you love them. That's why I always say hug your families, man. Let them know you love them. I love y'all, man. Y'all have a beautiful evening. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Come and see us.